Starting. Hello, everyone. We are back for our third meeting together, Dr. Ynge Ljung and myself, Ahava McLaughlin. I'm a traditional naturopath. She is a doctor of Chinese medicine, acupuncturist, and the founder of the allergy kit in the series that we're going to be discussing and how she uses it in her practice and how you can have it also in your home to help with your allergies and your family. And so today's topic is, one second, the sweet deception, sneaky ways sugar impacts your body. Okay, so we wanted to go ahead and talk about sugar and how that can be an allergy as well, and also acne. But quickly, I wanted to say when my little one, who's now 4, and she had eczema due to an antibiotic that was given to her, and it was kind of forced on us at the time when she was about 1 month old. That caused a series of leaky gut issues and eczema, severe eczema, and allergies. And one of the allergies that she had was sugar. She could not have even a lick of even the regular lollipops that have no food coloring in them. That's just the quote unquote cane sugar that most children do better on versus, like, the other ones, the Earth's Best kind. She would get an eruption right away in her face, and it would ooze out liquid all over here if she had even a lick of sugar. So she was completely sugar-free for 3 years. And I'm really happy and proud to say that because it's like unheard of nowadays. I found out because my older daughter, sometimes when we go to our synagogue, people will hand out, candies, and she had like the better kind, and she gave it to her sister just like, for fun, and she licked it. And then that's how I found out right away. She had an immediate reaction. So sugar, yeah. Most people don't realize that they could be having an allergy or sensitivity to sugar. And that's how I found out. And then when I used your kit, she could have sugar again. In moderation, of course.
In moderation, yes. Always in moderation. Everything in moderation, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah. So tell us some stories about sugar and the vial and your experience with the allergy kit.
one of the most, in a way, dramatic changes when they do treat with sugar, which is the second treatment in the kit. The kit is, by the way, not a test kit, it's a treatment kit. Even though, of course, you can use it for testing too if you do muscle testing and check it.
Right, right.
But when they do the second vial, sometimes they have to do it more than once, but then their sugar craving stops. So many, especially women, but men too, they are overweight and they cannot stop eating sugar. And how can they lose weight if they keep eating all these things with sugar? So, and wheat too is what they crave. So that's a great advantage. I had one patient who, she would buy a box of chocolate, and if she opened it, or when she opened it, it took one piece, she had to finish the whole box. And I treated her for sugar like 3 times, and then she came back one day and she said, you know what? I had one piece of chocolate and then I didn't want any more.
That's so
So
sweet.
that is very important to be able to get rid of the sugar cravings.
Yeah, yeah, sugar cravings.
Yeah.
Um,
And of course, I'm sure you agree with me. With the sugar cravings, you get a blood sugar imbalance,
right.
which is the beginning of what do you call it, the slope downhill.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they can't stop eating it, their blood sugar gets out of whack, and that affects, they become pre-diabetic, then diabetic, and then all the other things happen with heart attacks
Right,
and strokes and all these ugly things.
right. Right.
And it's the beginning also of hormone imbalance. I mean, insulin and all these things, they are hormones.
Absolutely.
So they affect everything. I think they affect the thyroid, and Hashimoto's, for example, should never have sugar,
Yep.
not wheat either.
Right. It's very you I have found with Hashimoto's thyroid, thyroiditis is that even if they are not showing, because I do a lot of frequency testing, muscle testing in my practice, and even though they're not showing a quote unquote allergy or sensitivity to it, doesn't matter. It is so inflammatory for them, and there's something there with the wheat and the antibodies, I guess, that get triggered. And so they just can't have it. It causes such inflammation in the body.
Yes, and that is both wheat and sugar. They
Yeah.
are
Yeah, yeah,
such big inflammation causers, what do you call it?
yeah.
And definitely that has to do with the thyroid.
Hmm.
So Hashimoto's is so common nowadays. I had once a girl who was my patient, and she came with her mother, and they were talking about how much they loved sugar, and after the treatment, how they would go out and have like a sugar binge with eating cake and drinking
Wow.
sodas. And they're so addicted, it doesn't really matter what you say almost. And the other thing it produces, of course, is candida.
Right. Right.
And candida per se has so many side effects. I mean, it can lead to depression, all kind of gut
Dysbiosis.
problems, yeah, and
Yeah.
issues. And of course, yeast infections, vaginitis, and throat, and
The itchy ears
yeah,
is another
itchy
one.
ears is a typical symptom of candida.
Yeah.
Depression, dandruff, thing in the hair, that
Yeast.
is
Yeah.
also a sign of candida. So there are
Mm.
many. The nail fungus is very common too, and
Right.
people don't think about it that it is candida. Many older people have nail fungus, and when they have, especially on the toes, and when they have that, it's just like the fungus is so overgrown that it starts to eat under the nails.
Wow. So I have a question. What would you consider sugar in moderation for the average child or adult even?
It's very hard to say, because if they eat food, processed food, it all has sugar.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But
So
what would you be your ideal? Let's say someone who's eating healthy whole foods and, they are making food at home. They're not eating out a lot. They're trying to minimize the amount of sugar in the foods that they are buying that are packaged. Let's say they want to treat themselves to, an actual dessert sometimes. What would you say, once a week, once a month?
yeah, as little as possible.
As
But I
little as
mean, of course,
possible.
it is impossible. I would suggest that they try to do fruits in one form or another
Mhm.
without added sugar. I mean, people
Yeah.
drink orange juice with sugar in it that goes directly out in the bloodstream, for example.
Hmm.
So
You mean with added sugar?
people, yes, added
Right.
sugar to
Right.
orange juice. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
No, because I mean, sh orange juice is naturally sweet. It has the sugar
exactly,
in it. So,
exactly.
but then they add the added sugar into the
Yeah.
cartons.
It, but yes, when my kids grew up, they grew up without sugar.
Right.
I mean, I didn't add sugar to anything, and
Right.
they were totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But the
But
thing
let's
with
say they want to
kids,
have a dessert, like a little piece, like not, let's say, a big piece, but
yeah,
like,
no, I think
would
like
you say like
everything
once a week,
once a week or twice a
twice
week
monthly?
or twice a week. It all depends how they react. I think you can see how they react, because children who get sugar,
Right.
they get the reaction. They start to run up the walls, or
Oh, 100%. Like if they're in their healing phases and stages, they shouldn't be having sugar. But let's say you've gotten yourself to a good place where you're feeling pretty stable, maybe indulging in something once in a while. That's what I was wondering for our audience to see,
yeah,
what
once in
would
a
be,
while is
yeah,
fine. But as I
yeah,
said, I know, for example, with my youngest grandchild,
Hmm.
who they didn't really have sugar. They kind of did, but they cooked all their food and they ate naturally. I was babysitting a weekend, and as a treat, we took them to this cold something with ice cream. After the first spoon, he started to run up and down. You know, these stores, they are narrow and long. He just started to run like crazy, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Right. Right.
So that is, I think, a kind of a typical reaction for people for kids who are
Yeah.
sensitive to sugar.
Right.
And then maybe try something else, not sugar, but as I said, something with fruit, and
Or
treat
maybe
them with
like a
the,
piece of dark chocolate or cacao nibs,
yes.
something
I don't
like
know if kids like dark chocolate, but
that. You could shave it onto the fruit.
yeah, but try to,
Or
and try to do the treat the allergies with the kit,
no, of course.
and then get into where they can have some, because of course people want to have some dessert now and then.
Yeah, no, it's normal. It's a normal thing. Celebrations, certain festivities. Um, I have a cool story about sugar. So because of my daughter who was needed to be sugar free, I
Uh-huh.
also was nursing her. So I needed to be sugar free because whatever I was eating was passing to her. And
Yes.
so I literally, I kid you not, besides for having a dollop of let's see, like maple syrup or honey, like just, randomly in like a oatmeal or something like that. But never, I didn't have cane sugar. I didn't have processed sugar for 3 years. I did not get sick one time the entire time, not even a cold, nothing. This was actually during COVID time when, everything was crazy. And I was helping people, through COVID. I would go into people's homes. I never got it, never got it. It was amazing, really. The moment the moment I did her with the kit and then I could have some sugar again, I did indulge in some and then I got a cold. And then I realized, why is it during holidays that all of a sudden everyone has a flu, everyone is sick with a fever, all the flu symptoms, and we notice the uptick in that? It's because they're eating all this sugar. And of course, the body gets maxed out, the cells top off. They're like, I can't take it anymore. And out comes, the junk, the
Yeah.
mucus, and everything spilling out of the cells to say, hey, no more, I'm done.
No, they say that eating sugar brings down the immune system
Yep.
for
Yep.
up to 72 hours.
Yeah.
And as you say, when does the flu season start? It starts with, what is the first one? Halloween or Thanksgiving?
Of the
Halloween?
school year is Halloween, then
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, then
And it
then
goes on
Christmas,
the whole
right?
time.
Right. And then if you're Jewish, it's like
Yes.
every month of the year. There's some kind of big holiday going on with
Yes.
sugar. So yeah, it's but definitely we see in masses where most people are celebrating these three holidays during the winter season, for like it's a for sure thing. Like they'll have, I see it right away after those holidays, like within a week or two. It's like all of a sudden everybody is sick because
Yes.
they just had too much and their body just couldn't handle it. And then, everyone's like, oh, it's just a virus. Well, yeah, I mean, viruses pop around, but they also live within us and they can express as well and
Yes.
triggered like Epstein-Barr.
And people also most people are very deficient in vitamin D,
Hmm.
which really is a hormone and not a vitamin.
Right.
And doctors say, okay, 30, measure with a 30,
That's
that's
so
good. It's not good. It
right.
should be between 70 and 100. And it's
Right.
very cheap to get a test for vitamin D. And I think everybody should do it. I mean, take the advantage of going in the sun. Maybe it's hard to go without sunscreen, but that takes the effect away from the sun.
Well, you can build the ability to stay in the sun. You go out for 10,
Of
15
course.
minutes and then 16 minutes and 17 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, how you can build
Yeah,
it up.
build up the melatonin. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And do that, and go and measure your vitamin D. It's a test that costs like $30 if you do it
Yeah, the
yourself.
lab doctor, if you don't have insurance, they can walk right in and there's a doctor on staff and you can pay out of pocket.
You pay out of pocket, it doesn't, and it is about $30 if you go into any lab, like a Quest
Oh,
or
really?
whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't need a script for it.
Okay. So it might
And
be even cheaper at the lab doctor because usually like you could get a whole thyroid panel for like 60,
oh, really?
$70 versus like $400 at Quest.
Mm.
So it might even be cheaper there. Who knows?
The vitamin D test, I think, is about $30
Okay.
at Quest,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
figure it
Wonderful.
out. The
Yeah.
cheapest way to get your vitamin D tested. It's very, very important to keep it up and take supplements if it is low.
Yeah.
Because if your vitamin D is low and you eat sugar, of course you will get cold all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, I love this subject. And I know it's like one of these topics that's so much easier said than done. Yeah, everybody knows don't eat sugar. But really, do you know? Like, guys, do you know?
Yeah,
Don't eat, just don't do it. I mean, when you're having a family celebration or a special occasion, take a little piece of the cake or the brownie or the cookie, but don't have two, three cookies or two slices of cake. Have it moderate and drink lots of water, flush it down a little bit. Make sure you get in some extra exercise or something and, try and compensate a little bit. But, we're human, we like to indulge, but having it every day, what are some of the ways that we can have sugar every day in our coffee, in the pre-made pancakes you buy for your kids, or the even when you make your own pancakes, instead of using cane sugar, use maple syrup and don't use a lot. It still tastes really good. I
exactly.
also mash up a banana, which also has natural sweetness to it. I don't ever add cane sugar unless it's a recipe that's absolutely needed. And it's like on a very rare occasion that I would make something like that. So there's so many things that we can do at home to also eliminate at least the processed sugar, because the body
Process
receives
is,
it in a different way than having fruits that, it's fructose sugar. So
yeah,
it's,
it reacts faster.
Mhm.
I suppose it goes out faster in the bloodstream than if you have honey. And honey has, after all, even though you should be careful with honey too, but it has other minerals and
Right, right,
good,
right,
and pollen that is good for allergies.
right.
So of
Yeah,
course, that's better to have. And then you can always use stevia. And what I recommend people who have these horrible sweet cravings, take a drop of stevia on your tongue because it's so sweet that you don't want more sweets, at least not then.
right, right. I actually tell clients to use dark chocolate. Like just snap off a little piece when you get a
Mhm.
craving and pop it in your mouth. It'll satisfy that craving. Um, and then each time you get it, you'll want less and less and less. But also the vial, why don't you show us the vial and what it looks like so that everyone gets to see.
Okay, let me see if I don't maybe have a sugar vial left. Not sure about it anyway.
Okay,
So,
you could show what a vial looks like.
so the kits, they come with these vials. They are homeopathically imprinted. So it's the frequency of, for example, the one in the sugar, it's sugar, all kinds of frequencies from all the different sugars. And you never open the vial.
Right,
It's, you don't consume it, you don't inject it, you don't put it on your skin. You use it with a laser. So you do a treatment where you put the vial over your belly button and you shine it through, and then over the head and the ears. The instructions are on the allergykit.com. You can go and check exactly how it is treated. It's a treatment that takes a few minutes and can last for a long time. Even
right,
though specifically the sugar, sometimes you have to do it several times. It depends on how bad your addiction is to it, because it is in combination with the candida, which also creates sugar cravings.
right. Wow.
So
So thank you for sharing that. The sugar vial comes with the main kit, correct?
yes, it's the second treatment in the main kit.
Yes. And you guys can use that as many times as you want, as needed for all your family members, for your pets.
Yeah, I have special ones for the pets too, because they have different foods and
Right,
different
right.
vaccinations and
But you
stuff.
know what, some animals also have candida and sugar
Oh,
cravings,
yes.
because they've been given table food or whatever, or an accident by the kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Amazing. Dr. Young, thank you so much for sharing with us today about sugar and how it affects the body and how we can use it to get rid of those sugar cravings and the sensitivities and the inflammation reaction to it. It is amazing tool, and you know what? I'm gonna go home and redo it on all our family members, just because it's like it's so inspiring, just to make sure that we are not having any sugar cravings, especially um, coming into the summer where everyone wants to, just relax and be free and, everything and have the
Yes.
sugar pops, the pops and stuff like that. So,
One more
wonderful.
thing, a
Yeah,
craving, whether it is to sugar or cigarettes or alcohol, only lasts for 7 or 8 minutes. I don't remember.
right.
So
So if you push
it
it
is
away,
also, if you can do jumping jacks or something for, for 7 minutes, then the craving will be gone.
I like that. You have a sugar craving, do some jumping jacks and some push-ups.
And you get your mind
Military.
off
My
it.
husband will like that. He's military. Amazing. Okay, wonderful. If you guys want to get with uh an allergy kit in your home, I will be posting the link to purchasing that down below. And please like and share this video with your friends and family. It's such important information. And I look forward to hearing what your thoughts and what you have to say. And until next time, we'll be continuing the series. So we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.